This video is for someone struggling with motivation. I almost didn't make this video today. I was struggling for motivation, struggling to get stuck into anything, and during one of my procrastination sessions, I just thought to myself, why not come and demonstrate the art of doing things when you don't want to do it by filming this video about what to do when you don't have motivation. I did not feel motivated to come and film, and here I am doing it. If you're new here, my name's Charlie, and I'm hoping this video today can help you if you struggle with your mental health. I've struggled with mine for years, and that's why I share a lot of my experiences on here to hopefully help someone who has nowhere to go and no one to turn to. I've been there, so I know what it's like. So in this video, hopefully this helps you if you're struggling with motivation and struggling to get up and actually do something. So if you ever struggled with your mental health, days like this can be really scary because you may feel like you're regressing or you're going backwards, or am I becoming depressed again? I know that there are days when I don't really feel motivated and can't get stuff done that I feel exactly like that. So I thought that I could explain a little bit about what helps me when I feel like this. The main one is reminding myself that feelings are just feelings. They are not a description of what is happening. So when something goes on and I feel a certain way, the way that makes me feel worse is labeling that feeling. So a lot of the time, like today, for example, I don't feel really motivated. I am pretty down in the dumps. I had poor sleep last night. These are all things that I am feeling, and therefore nothing. That should be it. That should just end as I feel like this, and that's okay. What we do is we end up labeling the feelings or labeling ourselves because of what we feel. Saying to myself, well, I'm a failure because I feel like this. Or beating myself up and going, this must mean X, Y, Z. And it doesn't necessarily do that. Feelings are just feelings. And sometimes you have to, one, be objective about why you could be feeling that way. I had 5.5 hours sleep last night. Of course, I'm not going to be that motivated and energetic. I was up early. I was up at 4:30 this morning. Of course, I'm not going to be that energetic. Life's been pretty stressful recently. Work's been pretty stressful recently. And sometimes it feels like I don't have a break or any time to myself. Well, those are all big elements which could play into my feeling today. Chalking myself up and just going, just because you feel something doesn't necessarily mean that you need to act on it. It's been super important on days like this. So feel what you feel. It's okay to feel like that. Just don't label it as, or label yourself as a failure, and don't act upon those feelings straight away. You may be tired, you may be hungry, you may be stressed. Those are never good times to make decisions. The way I actually got myself up here was to change the goal. Originally, the goal for today is to create all my content and edit all these videos and do all of this. And two things come to mind is one, the outline of what I needed to do today wasn't that clear. I didn't have a clear to-do list to do, which means that when I feel like this, the objective nature of ticking things off would be really helpful. The subjectiveness of go and do a little bit of content doesn't really help. The goal originally was to come up and film some good videos, to try to rewrite a load of scripts that I've already written, to go into my Substack and create some content from there. And I just couldn't get into it. So I changed the goal, and the goal was now, can you go up there and film a video no matter what? Because the goal isn't necessarily to produce YouTube videos that are outstanding. The goal isn't necessarily to come up here and be Mr. Beast or create the most inspiring YouTube videos from the start. The goal is to build up the consistency and the muscle of doing it. So to me, I needed to prove to myself that I'm the type of person that can stick to my word. I need to do that over and over again because that builds trust, and then that builds competency. And then over time, these videos are going to get better. Hopefully, this video isn't that bad. If you're still here, why? I appreciate you. But think about it in loads of different contexts. If you are going to the gym and you can't be bothered to go and you don't want to train, one of the things I always say to people, go in, sit on a bike or walk on a treadmill. Do it for 10 minutes. If you now want to leave, then leave. If not, you might actually want to get into your workout. If you want to write something down, like for me today, rather than being like, I need to write a perfect script, I just go, well, I'm going to voice note some ideas and see if anything pops out that inspires me today. Can't study? Well, maybe just start reading or see if you can put something on in the background. Maybe you need to go for a walk, reset yourself. The point is Just by changing the goal, you can start to, and changing the goalposts, you can start to find motivation elsewhere. The goal of filming YouTube videos, I just could not motivate myself to do today. So I changed it to be like, you need to go and practice creating a YouTube video. Don't necessarily worry about what it needs to be. The topic is what's kind of keeping me, is what I'm struggling with right now. Ignore the topic, go in with what you're inspired to do. And that's what I'm doing now. The problem with ourselves is we have me talking right now, and then we have the person in my brain witnessing me talking right now. We have this like watchtower of this person sat up top watching every move that we make and every decision that we do. And when we say we're going to do something, we have this almost timer or this scoreboard going on, and your brain ticks and gives you a point every time you do the thing you say you're going to do. And it kind of puts a tick in another box when you don't do the things you say you're going to do. We're always keeping score of ourselves, and we don't necessarily realize it. The problem with that scoreboard is that you build an identity through it, and sticking to doing things that you say you're going to do reinforces your identity. Every single time you do something, every action you take, you kind of send something out to the universe. You tell yourself a story. You build upon the character of who you are. And today's motivation was about building on the character that I am the person that can do the things that I say I'm going to do. I talk about this so much because to me, it's just one of the biggest unlocks that I've ever had, which is like, if I don't like myself, it's because I know that I could do more and be better. I think about this all the time, is I know I could do more and be better. And if I say I'm going to do something, or I say I'm going to commit to something and I don't commit to it 100%, my brain knows that. The little watchtower above, keeping score of all of the times that I do the thing I'm saying I'm going to do and all of the times that I don't. I need to make sure that the score is in the right direction, and it builds up a strength of character and trust within myself. I just know I can do things when I say I'm going to do it. And today is a prime example of that. Not wanting to come up and do work, but doing it anyway. That is discipline. That means that you don't necessarily need the motivation to go and do something. It's just about getting started and getting stuck into it. I already feel better from doing this. I really do. I think the key from all of this is that momentum often matters more than intensity, but also matters more than the intent. You need to build up the ability to stay consistent by just simply staying consistent and filming or working or writing or training or doing the thing you don't necessarily want to do. A lot of people think that like overnight success, right? Or that person's doing so well. Well, it's just simple consistency. I struggled with this actually quite a lot. Not consistency, because I think slow and steady I'm good at. I'm not very good at like putting a lot of effort in real quick, getting something over the line. I'm not really good at that. I'm like slow and methodical, just ticking away. And I think that's because like I don't wake up inspired every day. Like I said, I've always struggled with my mental health, which means that like some days I wake up and I just don't have it in me. But I just don't label it anymore, and I don't tell myself I'm a bad person for it. I just kind of chalk it up and almost ignore it. Like I've said it before, but feel what you feel and ignore the feelings. It's fine to do that. Like they don't necessarily mean anything. You just need to, again, build up the momentum and remind yourself of times like this. I know like there's going to be times tomorrow where I'm going to be like, I need to do this thing and I don't want to do it. And my brain's going to go, but you did it yesterday, so you can do it today. There's so many things that I've done like that. And what's been difficult for me is that trying to build up the bone of consistency when I'm not motivated is hard when it comes to my work. I found it super easy with training because it's something I've always done and I've always been motivated to do it. Like the bodybuilding comp was a clear example of this, that when I competed in the bodybuilding competition, I think that I closed a lot of loops that day and closed a lot of questions within myself, about myself. I really showed myself a lot more than I think I ever have done doing anything else I've ever done. I've never been more proud of my own self, and it's hard to be able to say that to sometimes, but I've never been more proud. And when I look back at that, yes, I was very consistent. I was very disciplined with what I did, but I was very motivated as well. And I've always been motivated with my training because I think I've linked my self-worth to my training quite a bit. So the motivation to train was simply linked to, if I do this, I can show that I'm good enough. If I do this, I can show that I'm good enough. And that feeling alone can be quite difficult for a lot of us to deal with. So being able to just build up the momentum and do things no matter what is really going to help. If you are someone who is struggling with your mental health, or have struggled in the past and you're wondering whether you're depressed again, it could be a really good time to maybe seek some professional help if that's what you need. Or you can ask yourself, is this just a bad day? Are there actual reasons for me to feel like this? And am I just labeling those feelings? I think it's really important to be careful if you are someone who has struggled with your mental health and are thinking that you just need to push through this moment. Maybe you actually are dealing with depression. Maybe you are struggling quite a bit, and what you need is to be kind to yourself rather than beating yourself up over and over again. It's really fine line to balance, because I have always struggled with knowing whether I should be kind to myself and give myself more rest and recovery with my mental health or with my physical training. And I've always struggled to be like, push harder. You need to just push through, stay consistent, stay disciplined. Those are two things that I back and forth on, because some days it's one and some days it's the other. Some days I do need a day on the couch. You do. You earn your rest. And some days it's you just need to push through, and that tomorrow you're going to feel better. And it's, I suppose, the talent and the skill that we're trying to learn is when to know which one to do. When is best for me to push through and stay disciplined? When is best for me to be kind to myself and give myself rest? I don't think there's a clear answer. I think you just need to learn more and more about the signs, signals, and triggers that are telling you that you need to give yourself rest and recovery and look after yourself. And then you need to understand when are times that you can push and that you can dig down and you can crunch. Because I think both of those things really important to know. Today I made this video not because I felt motivated. I think I made this video to prove to myself that I can, and to hopefully help someone else to know that if you are struggling with your mental health, sometimes changing the goal can be a really good idea. Kind of reminding yourself that you're building up that strength and resilience, but also being kind to yourself if you are really struggling. Hopefully you can identify the times where you're really struggling and be kind to yourself, and hopefully you can identify the times where there's more within you. I guess that's part of the question. Is doing the work today going to help me by me keeping promises to myself, or is me having rest going to help me to feel better because I've rested and recovered and have kind to myself? When you are struggling with motivation and you don't necessarily want to do something, change the goal. Make it about proving to yourself who you really are. You're building an identity every single time you do the thing you don't want to do. We're always watching, our brain's always listening, we're always keeping tabs. Do what you say you're going to do and be kind to yourself along the way. My name's Charlie, this is Hat the Body, Hat the Mind. Like I said, the goal is to try and help people with their mental health, help people to build confidence, help people start liking themselves again. Hopefully these videos help. If they do, please give me a like and please subscribe, that would be great. And share this with anyone who is struggling with motivation. Thanks so much for watching.